First time for Harrison Chandler, strapped in the red gloves. James Prescott awaits opposite in the blue. This amateur middleweight bout is brought to you by Gold's Gym. Become the strongest version of you at Gold's Gym, an official sponsor of Fierce FC. Tyler Tomlinson, third man in the cage here tonight. One of 6 assignments here in Idaho Falls. Made the way up alongside plenty of other Utah fighters on this card.
We're already into the grappling, and we knew that about Prescott. He starts very quick.
Opens up with some immediacy. Chandler answers back. A couple teeps to the body. Stalemate in the middle.
Okay. Could be quite hectic your first time in there, but he looks like he's doing really good. Chandler is.
Calm and composed, catching the leg is Chandler, able to mat the Utah fighter, but back up to his feet is Prescott, now searching for a guillotine of his own.
Prescott, I'm sure he's wrestling Cole Faust and Garcia and all those people at one hit. Definitely talented in there.
James Prescott, both of his fights have ended via submission in the first round. Again, the debut was successful. The sophomore slate, not as much.
Yeah, this is where a lot of that jiu-jitsu is going to help. Oh, and he's back up to his feet.
All action out of the two. But staying composed so far is the debuter, David.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with Chandler,
Prescott answers back and rings the bell once again, now searching.
So look at that wrestling right there. Has like front cradle, it's pulling him down. He's going to probably use that to get to a ground and pound position.
Prescott making his weight well known.
He has the Von Flute choke. Let's see if he can hold on to it. Now, it's really tough when they don't have their hands locked. You can kind of see that Chandler only has the one arm over his head, but he can still get this just with the shoulder pressure. Looks like he's trying to throw knees from the bottom a little bit. Maybe just get to half guard. Okay.
Harrison Chandler won 8 of his last 9 jiu-jitsu matches leading into this. Certainly felt the pressure of a Von Flue before. Might just be stuck at the moment, David.
Yeah, this is a kind of tricky position because on the one hand you feel like you can get up from there, but on the other hand, if you stay there too long, you might get choked out. And it looks like he lost the hand. Now he's just kind of grabbing different things, trying to come up.
We apologize for the timer. That was unable to start, so not exactly sure where we're at in terms of the round, but waning seconds have to be upon us.
Yeah, I'm sure the commission will help us out in a little bit.
Hear the 10-second clapper go as James Prescott continues to lay his weight over the top of the local fighter.
I'm impressed. Prescott's hip pressure is so impressive. Just thrusting those hips forward, kind of great finding the legs. He really has a lot of pressure on Chandler's chest right now, and he's just using that and, holding up.
I was talking to Fierce FC matchmaker Zach Partridge. He told me that as soon as he had lost to Micah Murdoch when we're talking about James Prescott, he was in the gym that following Monday and immediately was asking for another fight.
No, he's definitely game. Oh, he's getting hit, though.
Brought back is Chandler. Prescott right back into his wheelhouse.
And Prescott's back on the head, trying to go for a guillotine or at least use it to advance position. But, Prescott's back into that position. See if Chandler can come up here. Oh.
Chandler working his way up right against the broadcast booth. Yeah. Mobilizing the hips well. Prescott trying to wrangle him back inside.
Yeah, I'd like to see Prescott kind of pull those hips back so it isn't kind of a game of scooting, but he's doing a good job now of controlling the cage. He's going back to that Von Flute choke. Let's see if he can finish it right here.
Prescott also being a little bit more intentional, controlling the legs, making sure to pin those down, have no extremities dealing or working against him in his offensive efforts.
Notice how Prescott's using his left arm to trap underneath the armpit. This is a really, really tight position. Just lost it, but he's still on top, using the cage now to kind of push off to keep that pressure. Got to watch for the... Oh, he's back up.
Back up and headhunting is Prescott. Pushes his opposition away.
You'll notice that Prescott throws a lot of straight punches, and he's really hitting him with it. Versus Chandler, the debuter kind of swinging for the fences. That's a very natural reaction when it's your first time going. Got to build that muscle memory.
Prescott throwing some clubbing shots. Chandler now having some offense of his own, but back to the mat we go.
You hear Prescott's corner talking about the fatigue for the debut fighter. I would agree with that right now.
A little bit of gas, also the adrenaline dump. We talked about it a little bit last weekend as well, but that always seems to be something that debut fighters, they might hear about it, but they don't realize it until it actually comes in the cage.
I mean, it's a real factor. Even for my first fight, felt like I was going to die in there, and so you just got to become acclimated to fighting. And I've been very impressed with Chandler so far, and maybe he can turn this around. You never know.
Prescott searching to isolate that arm on the far side.
He has the Americana. Oh, nah, he's a little too high, and he's still in half guard, which makes it really difficult to finish. Notice how the wrist is not on the ground. The arm's kind of sticking up towards the head. Oh, and he just lost it right there.
Just about 10 seconds remaining in the second round of a possible 3.
Yeah, it looks like Prescott has him pretty flat.
Also, tough spot to be right there in the center of the cage. I believe he's in Thailand at the moment, but had some success here at the Mount America Center.
Oh, that was a great combination from both of those guys.
Slinging upstairs. Not as much grappling initiated early on here in round 3.
It just looks like Chandler's kind of leaning back a little bit too much, and Prescott's getting him on the end of his punch. Oh, that was a good slip, though.
Veteran-like closing of the distance, able to spill Chandler to the canvas once again with 2.5 minutes to work here in this third and final round.
Yeah, Chandler, I've actually been super duper impressed with him. I think it really is an experience thing. And Prescott, he's gone against some of the best people in Utah, and he trains with them day in and day out. For the Idaho fighter, I think just a little more experience would really help.
Again, 6 years of combat training up to this point for Harrison Chandler. Looks strong in a lot of situations here in this fight, but just currently short in terms of control time at the moment and taking a little bit more damage as well, David.
Yeah, I mean, experience is so great, obviously, and you can be a really tough person in the room, but it's just different when the lights are on you, when your friends and family are there, you're half naked in the cage. Like it's just a different feeling, and those differences really do make a big challenge for you when you're not used to it.
What do you make of a lot of bigger name professional fighters fully simulating fights in their camps as Prescott looks to lock up a limb?
Oh, he might have a straight armbar right there. Oh, let's see if he can go for it again. He's controlling it. From this position, he has actually 3 submissions. But he looks like he's holding onto the head, so now he's not going to be able to get that arm. But back to what you were saying, I think that it's very important to simulate the fight. If you do it too much, obviously it can lead to injury. Oh, and we have a reversal right here.
Strong reversal gets the Idaho crowd back in the palm of Harrison Chandler as he begins to pepper in shots from the top.
And this is exactly what he needed, leaving it all out there for that first bout. I love this.
Scores of spectators here in support of the Idaho fighter, now locking up a rear naked choke.
Yeah, from the
tough
side.
Spot positionally.
Oh, he lost it.
As Prescott finds his way back up to the top.
Yeah, it's really difficult to get that rear naked choke without your hooks. That's why jiu-jitsu coaches always say position over submission. He's going back to the Americana, but once again, he's just not able to isolate that limb in the correct spot. The hand's coming up by the head, and it's going to make it tough.
10-second clapper goes in these final seconds of this first fight of the night. Back and forth, much more competitive, round number 3.
Fierce fans, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. The referees score this contest 30-27, 29-28, and 30-27. Declaring your winner by unanimous decision, James Prescott.